It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview a Baltimore Orioles coach, Tim DeJohn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Can you talk about your career and your coaching career?
Yes, I after college, I coached 1 year at the college that I went to, which is Western Connecticut State. And then after that, I coached 8 years of high school baseball, 3 years in my hometown, and then 5 years at Southington High School. And then after that, I coached 2 years at the University of Hartford, 2 years at the University of Memphis, and one summer I spent coaching indie ball, with the Milwaukee Milkmen, and then I am now part of the Baltimore Orioles organization.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to, of course, be in the MLB coaching?
I just kind of think it was the next step. I wanted to challenge myself, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of the highest level possible and work with the best players that there are out there. And at the college level, I really liked it, but I'm not really much of a recruiting guy. So I figured that trying to get into professional baseball was the next step.
Can you talk about your experience and what you accomplished at the University of Hartford?
Oh, my experience at the University of Hartford was invaluable. I was given, I was a high school coach, and I was given the opportunity to take the infield defense, and I had pretty much free reign with them, and I really appreciate Coach Blood and the staff there. And at first I was a little nervous about it, just being a high school coach into working with a Division I infield. And in my 2 years there, I learned a lot from that coaching staff, and I learned a lot about the game. And we were able to accomplish some pretty cool things. We set the school record for fielding percentage. We set the school record for least amount of errors. And I believe 1 year, I think my first year there, all 4 infielders were all conference. And that was a really, really valuable experience for me. And that's where I knew that I would definitely wanted to make coaching my full-time profession.
That's amazing. What did you accomplish at the University of Memphis?
Same thing. It was a little bit of a bigger school, and we were going to play some down south teams, on a regular basis, some Power 5 teams. It was a new opportunity to challenge myself and also help the university. I made a ton of connections through the University of Memphis, and I learned a lot from that coaching staff as well. So shout out to Coach Schoenrock for giving me the opportunity. We were able to be, I think, in my first year there, I think they were top 40 in the nation defensively. Same thing as University of Hartford. We were also top 40 in the nation defensively. And I think we finished second all time for school fielding percentage, and I think second all time for least amount of errors in a season. And that those opportunities and being at a little bit of a bigger school gave me a little bit more exposure and again, just more valuable coaching experience.
Can you talk about your time coaching the Milwaukee Milkways?
Yes, the Milwaukee Milkmen. It was an independent team out of the American Association, and I kind of came aboard a month into the season, and it was my first real experience coaching professional players. And your approach had to be a little bit different. It's not kind of like a college setting, and I got to work with guys that were aspiring to be with affiliated organizations or had already been with affiliated organizations, and no longer were, and just building relationships, creating routines, playing every single day, the travel, just becoming accustomed to that sort of lifestyle.
Can you talk about, of course, the transitioning from being a coach in a college to making your way into like the professional or even the minors?
Yes. So in college baseball, you kind of, you're set with a certain practice time, and you have to try to find a way to make all of that fit. And there's certain hour, regulations as far as how many hours you could coach a week or spend, a week coaching these guys. And then when you get to professional, you can kind of have as much time as you want. You're working with the best of the best. Some of the guys actually in the Orioles organization I coached against, at Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and I just absolutely love it. It's I thought I wanted to be a high school baseball coach, and I really valued that. And then I had the opportunity to do this with the Orioles, and I couldn't be more in love with the job.
Can you talk about, of course, you said you coached some of the players that you coached, like whenever you were in college. How is that like seeing, of course, the players that you coached in college now make it into the professional and coaching them?
We took 2 players in this year's draft. That's Jordan Westberg from Mississippi State. And I coached against him when I was at Memphis. And that was a conversation starter right there. And then Anthony Servideo from Ole Miss, I coached against him as well. And, just those conversation starters, and kind of eased into a pretty good relationship, even though I haven't known those guys too long. And they're very talented guys. And, you're coaching the best of the best. And it's a privilege to be able to work with those guys. And, I love the process of gaining their trust, and my goal is to try to get them to be the best defensive players that they could possibly be. And, I'm here for them.
What is some of the stuff that you do as an assistant coach in the MLB?
Well, unfortunately, due to COVID, we haven't had a full season. I haven't been to an affiliate yet. I was only at spring training, and then we had fall instructs. But my role there was was more or less practice design, introducing drills, for all the infielders, making player plans for them, working with them one-on-one, working with them in small groups. It was more of kind of just a practice situation instead of actual games. We didn't have too many opportunities for that. But that my main role, and pretty much only role, is infield defense and some team defensive stuff as well.
What do you hope to accomplish, of course, whenever the MLB season comes back and you put on that Orioles jersey?
It's been a very short time so far. It's only been a year, but I am extremely proud to be a Baltimore Oriole, and the opportunity that they've given me and the responsibility that they've given me. And all I want to do is I want to push myself, to challenge myself to be the absolute best coach that I can in order to serve others. I want to give everything that I can to the players that I work with, and to make our organization as a whole a better organization. It's all about the players in our organization, and I want to do anything I can to serve them and help them meet their goals. My goal is to help them meet their goals and whatever the organization expects out of me.
Can you talk about how it is coaching, of course, in some of the biggest stadiums in the MLB, like the Yankees in like the Cleveland Indians?
Oh, I haven't had that opportunity. I haven't had that opportunity to coach in a stadium like that. I think that the biggest stadium that I've probably coached in, biggest crowds have been. We had some games against Arkansas when I was coaching at the University of Memphis, and the St. Louis Cardinals AAA affiliate, AutoZone Stadium downtown. That was a pretty big game. I'm not sure how many people it was, maybe 15, 20,000, something like that. Coaching at Mississippi State was pretty big. Ole Miss always had a good crowd. So those are some of the bigger venues that I've coached at so far. And to me, this may sound funny, but it doesn't. I don't really get caught up in it. It's the same thing to me. It doesn't really matter if we're in front of 10 people or 10,000 people. You get a little more energy in those situations, but besides that, I kind of just focus on keeping the same routines and keeping the players loose, and nothing really changes.
What is something that you've learned now that you didn't know before you started becoming an assistant coach in the MLB?
Oh, I think a lot of things on the analytical side of the game, I've been introduced to and paid attention more. I'm studying a lot about practice design and practice styles and deliberate practice. And then, when you get around some veteran coaches in our organization, you just pick up little things here and there that you might not have known before, or better ways of explaining things. I think that you constantly learn as a coach, no matter what the topic is. But I think that the first year in professional baseball, especially since we didn't get out to affiliates and actually have a season, I think that the biggest thing has definitely been on the analytical side.
Can you talk about what you look into, like whenever you're looking at college baseball players and you're scouting them? What are you looking for in a college baseball player?
I've never really done scouting. I've never really did any recruiting. I more or less just work with the guys that I'm given, and I really enjoy that. But I think that the biggest thing, there's kind of three areas that I would break it down into. And the first thing I like to see is how a guy's feet work, how he moves on his feet, his arm strength, and then his ability to cleanly catch a baseball. Those are the three pillars that I think are important. And then also knowledge of the game, understanding game situations, kind of having a certain composure.
What advice would you give upcoming college players that are looking to make it into the professionals?
I would just tell them to continue to polish their skills and continue to get better as a baseball player. I wouldn't really, if they're playing college baseball, that should be their focus at the time. They shouldn't worry about getting drafted until that day comes. They should just focus on trying to do the best that they can for their team, make themselves better as an individual, and give everything that they have to that university or that college that had them as part of their team.
What advice would you give upcoming coaches looking to get into the professionals?
I would tell them that, you have to reach out to people. You have to make connections with people. And I think that you have to constantly improve yourself as a coach. Never be satisfied, kind of stay humble. There's plenty of times that I thought that I knew what I was talking about and I was a really, really good coach. And then you learn some things a little bit later on down the road that humbles you. And I think that just never being satisfied and always trying to learn more. And wherever you are, make that your major leagues. If you're a high school coach, make that your major leagues. And then if you go to the college level, make that your major leagues. And I think that putting the players first is very, very important. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the coaches. Nobody pays money to watch coaches coach. They watch players play.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the program?
Orioles.com. is our website, and from there you can check out all the minor league affiliates. There's links to the minor league affiliates, and then on social media, I'm on Twitter at DeJohn _5, DEJOHN _ and then the number 5.
Thank you again, Coach Tim, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season with the Baltimore Orioles.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, and good luck to everybody out there during these crazy times.
Thank you again. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Tim, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.